The sale of a business is one of the most important events in a business owner's life. It must be handled properly. That requires a strong team of accountant, M&A advisor and lawyer. Not just any lawyer. The choice of lawyer could make or break the deal and can cost a lot of extra money if the deal's bungled. In this video, we'll set out some key criteria lawyers should meet before earning the privilege of acting for you on your big transaction. Many business owners assume that the lawyer who handled their property deal, basic commercial agreements, a litigation or a family law matter will also be the right lawyer to manage the sale of their business. However, there are many areas of specialisation in lawyer world, and the sale of the business requires an experienced commercial lawyer. Here are some of the things that can go wrong if the wrong lawyer is on the job. Poor communication. The lawyer takes control of the deal and shuts out the other advisors. The lawyer wants to renegotiate some of the key terms already agreed. The lawyer wants to negotiate hard on every little point, grinding away on behalf of their client and taking every deal to and beyond breaking point. These extra activities run up their legal bills and those of the buyers, to the point where everybody hates them for it. Buyers realise how bad the vendor's lawyer is and pull out of the deal. The lawyer has no idea of what is going on and is out of their depth in this type of transaction. The lawyer works in a vacuum without consulting or liaising with the owner or the other advisors. Most M&A advisors will know competent commercial lawyers with appropriate expertise for the transaction and will recommend those lawyers be engaged. This reduces the risk, removes one of the variables and one of the things that could go wrong on any particular deal. Before we go any further, here's a special piece of advice that a lawyer once told me, and it may be useful. Your lawyer's first priority is to protect himself or herself from you. Their second priority is to protect you against the unwanted outcomes from the transaction. This dictates that your lawyer must be and must be seen to be acting in your best interest. This means that your lawyer will naturally be strongly biased in your favour as a default setting and can only adopt a more workable middle ground with your consent or instruction. And it follows that the less sophisticated your lawyer believes you are in business sales matters, the more protective they will be. So the more vigorously they will push outcomes that favour you and sometimes take things too far, which is where deals can go off the rails. The more clearly you set out what your goals are from the transaction, the better your lawyer should be able to help you bring about those outcomes. Now here's a list of questions and criteria your commercial lawyer should meet. 1. What experience have they had in commercial business sale and acquisition contracts? 2. Where applicable, can they handle share transactions versus a simpler asset sale transaction? 3. Does their website showcase business sale and acquisition transactions as an area of expertise? 4. Anticipating the type of buyer for the business, will your lawyer measure up in sophistication compared with the quality of the lawyer the buyer is likely to engage? Taking into account business demographics, where 95% of businesses are very small, i.e. fewer than 10 employees, and so have very simple transactions, and that most lawyers' skills are tuned to their market, how capable is your lawyer when it comes to larger and more complex transactions? Once those things are sorted out, here's a list of ground rules to establish. 1. Establish communication lines and protocols. You need to establish and confirm that your lawyer will work closely with and communicate openly with you, your accountant and your M&A advisor continually throughout the sale process. This means, for instance, you and your M&A advisor being copied in on every email going to the other party, preferably also knowing in advance and consenting to the position so they can work together as one team. Most good M&A advisors will remain very close to or lead the action and insist on checking all correspondence before it goes to the other side's legal counterpart, as it's easier to stop unnecessary fires from starting rather than running around having to put them out as they're created. Number 2. Confirm the roles and objectives of each person. Considering that the business owner and the M&A advisor will most likely have been working closely for some time and then more recently with the buyer to agree to terms of sale before the lawyer is involved, They don't expect the lawyer as a latecomer to take control and shut them out, which sometimes happens. The lawyer's role should be provide expertise to navigate efficiently through the legal aspects of the sale process and achieve your required outcomes. To understand where the boundaries are and not to overstep them and unnecessarily compromise the deal. To advise and protect clients against any surprise outcomes. To communicate with their clients' other advisors so they operate as a seamless and well-coordinated team. The M&A advisor's role includes wider communication. So whereas the lawyer can usually only have direct contact with their client and the other party's lawyer, and no direct contact with the buyer themselves, that's just basically ethical requirements, the M&A advisor can talk with pretty much anybody. So they should continue to act as a conduit throughout the sale process, as well as provide feedback to the rest of the client's team about the position of the other side, informally as it goes along, compared with the formal responses that usually go between lawyers. The lawyer needs to be properly briefed, and the M&A advisor is well placed to do this. This usually involves sending them the information memorandum for the business, the term sheet, and any other information critical to the transaction. Number 3, understand the legal fee drivers. The cost of legal services seems straightforward at an hourly rate to begin with, but costs can quickly spiral out of control if the legal teams lock horns and get involved in too many issues of a non-strategic nature or of little impact on the deal. They should provide an estimate or a quote on their fees, or the basis upon which they will charge, and confirm the scope of their work. Then, for any significant change in scope or additional work, you can get an estimate of the additional hours or fees required and weigh up whether or not the additional cost is worth the potential impact. In conclusion, it is critical to have the right lawyer on the project. The wrong lawyer can ruin the sale process and leave the owner stuck in their business. With the right lawyer and good communication, the transaction should go smoothly and be stress-free for everyone, particularly for the business owner.